Meanwhile, the Biden administration has already promised to veto that bill should it arrive at the president's desk. They say that it would deny access to sports for many families and is discriminatory. White House correspondent Owen Jensen has more.
Eric, the Biden administration says H.R. 734 targets people for who they are. Supporters say the radical left has thrown Title IX to the wayside by allowing biological men to play alongside women.
Today, supporters of the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act passionately state their case.
I am a live and let live person. You can be whoever you want to be. If you want to be a transgender, that's your right. But what about my rights? What about the rights of my daughters? That is where we've lost our mind.
And in another fight between the White House and Republicans, the nation's debt limit. Republicans release a sweeping spending restraint plan to offer to the White House, along with lifting the debt limit by $1.5 trillion.
When it comes to the full faith and credit of our nation to avoid default, that is something that should be done without conditions. That is something that should not be negotiated on.
Also today in the White House press briefing room, I asked about the Uyghurs in China.
The world promised to never let a genocide like the Holocaust of World War II happen again. We have a Holocaust museum right down the street. Does the administration believe there's enough urgency right now in helping the Uyghur Muslims?
I think this is the kind of thing, whether it's the Uyghurs or elsewhere around the world, but where we have to continue to apply constant and unrelenting pressure to protect basic freedom of worship and human and civil rights around the world. It's not something you can ever let off on, and it's not something that, you know, we snap a chalk line and say, we're done, and we fixed it, and it's over. It's the kind of thing that we're constantly working at.
Meanwhile, earlier at the White House, the president and U.S. climate envoy John Kerry hold a virtual meeting of the Major Economies Forum on energy and climate.
And yes, we're willing to do the hard work to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
And he talked about the importance of forests and ending deforestation.
Forests are the key to our future. In the United States alone, our forests absorb more than 10% of our annual greenhouse gas emissions. And as we all know, if we lose this natural resource, we can't easily get it back.
Also at the forum, President Biden announced that the U.S. hoped to give $500 million to Brazil over the next 5 years to help slow the destruction of the Amazon. That, of course, would need the okay of Congress. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.